from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening. This is the National News Broadcast coming to you live from the Rupavahini studios. Bringing your stories for today, I'm Sharon Mascarenhas.
I'm Charita Minapurarachi, and now let's move on to the headlines for tonight's news.
Muthuraja Tusker arrives in Thailand. Showery condition continues to prevail in southwestern parts of the country. Stones similar to Mars found in Uva province. 50 foreign envoys engage in a tour in hill country. Katarogama prepares for the final Perahara. Sri Lanka qualifies for the ICC Cricket World Cup.
Sri Lanka book their place in the World Cup in October.
Elon Musk introduces new restrictions for Twitter users.
On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with the top local story. Muthuraja is one of the most renowned tuskers among those who have an interest in wildlife.
Muthuraja owns the longest tusk among the tamed elephants in the country. However, Muthuraja bid adieu to Sri Lanka and presently is in Thailand. Muthuraja Tusker first arrived in the country in the year 2001. The Tusker was gifted by the Thai royal family. The Tusker was gifted to the nation through an epistle, was then handed over to the Khande Viharaya. From then on, the Muthuraja Tusker spent 22 years in the country. Many weaknesses were surfaced over the protection and caring of Muthuraja in the recent past, and environmentalists continue to point out the depleting health condition of the Tusker from time to time. The national television also reported over the condition of the Tusker many times in the recent past. However, following the issues pertaining to the well-being of the Tusker, Thai authorities took measures to repatriate the elephant for treatments. Accordingly, Muthuraja left the country from Katunayake International Airport this morning in a special Russian aircraft. Now, even though Muthuraja Tusker left the country, there was another Tusker who arrived in Sri Lanka along with him in the year 2001.
The other Tusker is Kandula, which belongs to the Kelaniya Rajamahaviharaya. Both Muthuraja and Kandula were gifted to Sri Lanka by the Thai royal family in 2001. Through an epistle, Muthuraja Taska was referred to Aludgama Kande Vihare and Kandula Taska was referred to Kalaniya Raja Mahavihare. While Muthuraja experienced a sorrowful fate under various circumstances, the Kandula Tasker is living under favourable conditions, mostly suited for tamed elephants. Kandula Tasker spent most of the time in Viragama Ratnapura, apart from the time where it has to be paraded in the processions of the Kalaniya Raja Mahavihare. Upul, hailing from a traditional Mahood family, is the caretaker of Kandula. A Thai delegation who had arrived in the country to look into the well-being of the Kandula Tasker expressed their appreciation for the loving care shown towards the elephant. Kandula Tasker, fulfilling the duty of carrying the sacred casket of relics at the Katharagama Asala Perahara, will also be bestowed with the responsibility to bear the sacred casket of tooth relic at the Kandy Asala Perahara this year.
In other stories, Minister Keliya Rambukwala says the production of domestically made medicines will be increased by 30 to 35% over the next 2 years. The minister made these remarks during a press briefing held today at the Presidential Media Centre under the theme, One Way to a Stable Country. Minister Keliya Rambukwala said that the COVID-19 outbreak posed a major challenge to the global health sector, and since then the healthcare industry has faced a difficult journey. Once the country successfully managed the challenge of COVID-19 and returned to a normal state, there were significant struggles, he added. As a result, the minister said the country faced complete chaos, leading to delays even in the procurement of medications. Upon discussing the issue with the cabinet, he said the current president understood the situation well and engaged with the Ministry of Finance to establish an immediate schedule for drug importation. He also said that the government has taken several measures to tackle temporary shortages of medicines. Presently, he said that they produce 19 different types of medicines and the plan is to add 17 additional drugs to this list by the next quarter. He said that over the next 2 years, the ministry will aim to increase the production domestically made by medicines by 30 to 35%.
Soil similar to moss has been identified from Uva province in Sri Lanka. Accordingly, a study has been initiated in Sri Lanka at the present by the NASA agency and a group of scientists representing many countries. The relevant soil type has been discovered from Ginigal Palasa village in Sevanagala Divisional Secretariat Division in Monoragala district. The study has been initiated after confirming the existence of the serpentine stones in the village, which can also be found in moss. Many geological scientists representing various countries including India, the United States, China and universities are taking part in this research. The research is led by Professor Sunith Karunathilaka of Louisiana State University. Accordingly, the research team will conduct various tests in several locations in Sevanagala, Indikola Palasa and Ambalantota Ussangoda in addition to Ginigal Palasa. And the Met Department says prevailing showery condition over the southwestern parts of the country is expected to continue.
Now, the department release has indicated that heavy showers above 100 millimeters are likely to occur in some places in several provinces and districts in the country. Accordingly, the heavy showers will occur at time to time in the western Sabragamua, northwestern and northern provinces, as well as Kandy, Nuwara Eliya, Galle and Mathura districts. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in Uva province and in the Ampara and Bedikula districts during the evening or night. Fairly strong winds, about 40 to 45 kilometers per hour, can be expected at times in the western slopes of the Central Hills, North Central province and in Puttalam, Hambantota and Trincomalee districts. Accordingly, the Met Department has requested the public to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. The Vimala Surendra Reservoir has reached spill levels due to the heavy showers occur in Norton Bridge catchment areas. The police have said that the vehicular traffic in Haddon, Nuwara Eliya, Haddon, Colombo main roads and by roads have been disrupted due to the persisting showery condition.
The 101st International Cooperative Day commemorative ceremony was held at the Royal College Main Hall yesterday. It was held with the participation of Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that cooperative movement had been originated 100 years ago in various fields. He said that they appreciate the vision and the procedure of the cooperative movement as a government. He pointed out that they have examined whether the normal regulations have victimized the cooperative movement in these 101 years of history. The Prime Minister indicated that the cooperative is a part of the lifeblood of the country and the mutual cooperation is the spirit of the country. The mutual cooperation led to the continuous existence of the entire nation from village to village, he added. The Prime Minister said that the current principles of cooperative movement were prevailed in every task such as mutual sharing, distribution, conservation of historical self-sufficient village concept. But this movement has carried out continuously in different fields and areas of our country due to the courage and creativity of the members, he added. And the Kanda Sorindu homage parade carrying jewellery of the deities reached Katharagama sacred site this morning.
ප්‍රධාන අනුග්‍රහය රටක් පුබුදන රයිගම් දෙවැනි එක 100% සහල් නූඩල්ස් කදිර දිව්‍ය රාජ චිත්‍රපටය අගෝස්තු 3 වනදා සිට දිවයින පුරා සිනමා හල්වල
Of the Katharagama Asala Festival.
The public can watch the live telecast of the procession on the national television and Netra channels from 9:30 p.m. onwards.
Sunituni Katharagama 2023 official media sponsor Jat Rupavahini. Today is the 14th day of the annual Asala Festival of Ruhun Maha Katharagama Devalaya. Vel or Velayuda is the divine spear that is associated with Lord Murugan or God Skanda Kumara. So this spear was given to him by his mother to defeat Asuras or demons. So this Velayuda has been brought from Tondamanaram Selva Chanmadi temple or Kovil in Jaffna to the Katharagama town where it's currently residing at. So this is a ritual, a custom that takes place in parallel to the Asala festival of Ruhuna Maha Katharagama Devalaya. And today we see how so many devotees are gathering at the Mahadevala premises to witness tonight's procession. And you too, this is a quick reminder, don't miss your chance. Tomorrow is the last day of the procession. So visit Katharagama, or you could engage with the live telecast of the final grand procession tomorrow on Jat Rupavahini. So let's meet again with the latest updates. I am Amavi Bisobandara for Rupavahini News at Ruhuna Maha Katharagama Devala premises.
And meanwhile, the Sri Lankan king coconut has received a high value in the foreign market. The king coconut has become a value-added foreign exchange earner of the country. A business dealing with adding numerous flavors to king coconuts and exporting them overseas has become a profitable enterprise. They mainly export king coconut water to Europe. The king coconut being used in this business are grown as organic cultivations. The business, which was organized in the year 2017 as a joint effort of 5 persons, has today enabled to provide direct employment opportunities to 50 persons. Many indirect job opportunities have also been created in the form of supplying drinks and training of the workers. The industry produces nearly 2,000 litres of king coconut water from between 3,500 to 4,000 nuts per day. The Sri Lanka Export Development Board has extended guidance in the commencement of the business targeting the foreign market. Even you may be able to join the industry by providing king coconuts and earning an extra income.
Here's more local news in brief. One more contingent of army personnel in the 5th Combat Convoy Company designed to serve in the United Nations Multi-Dimensional Integrated Stabilization Mission in Mali left the country yesterday. The first group is consisted of 20 officers and 150 other ranks. The remainder of the contingent will leave for Mali on August 29th. Foreign envoys of 50 countries embarked on a visit from Colombo Alla railway station aboard the Viceroy Special train yesterday, and the ambassadors made a stop in Nuwara yesterday and continued the journey from Nanuoya to Alla this morning. The tourism board collaborated with the railway department to organize the tour to boost Sri Lanka tourism. The National Constructions Awards to recognize excellence in construction industry was held recently at the South City Pier with the participation of Minister Prasanna Ranatunga. The ceremony was held after a gap of 3 years. Accordingly, 65 awards were presented for the years 2020 to 2021. An individual belonging to an organized group engaging in a racket to remove and sell telephone cables laid in underground steel chambers of the Sri Lanka Telecom was taken into custody from Morontudawa in Kanda Kade area. A van, a car and a three-wheeler had collided in Grand Pass area in Colombo today. An injured passenger was admitted to the Colombo National Hospital for treatments.
Direct passenger flights from Tel Aviv city in Israel to Katonaika are scheduled to commence from October this year. The relevant agreement of understanding in this connection is scheduled to be signed shortly. The Air Aviation Services of Israel is getting ready to commence the direct flights. Minister Nimal Siripal Silva has presided over a special discussion in this regard with the Civil Aviation Services Division of the two countries yesterday. A comprehensive clarification of the security program is to be carried out in the aviation services of the Sri Lankan Aviation Authority was made on this occasion. The Israeli representatives were reported to have been satisfied by the explanations provided by the Sri Lankan authorities. Minister Nimal Siripal Silva further says that it was due to the outcome of discussions conducted between President Ranil Wickremesinghe and the Israeli government that commence of direct flights between the two countries has been made possible. The new facility enables Israel tourists and Sri Lankan workers living from Israel to have financial advantage. The Sri Lanka Ports Authority has provided a land to Canal Provide company to store fuel. An agreement has been reached with the company to supply aviation fuel, and the memorandum of understanding in this connection was signed today. Stay tuned for international news after this break.
தேசத்தின் செல்வம், மண்ணின் வளம், இதய செழிப்பு அனைத்தும் இணைந்து நட்புடன் கட்டியெழுப்பிய 62 ஆண்டுகால மக்கள் நம்பிக்கை. மக்கள் வங்கி மகிமை மிக்க 62ஆம் ஆண்டு விழா.
Welcome back to the news. France has seen a quiet night of protests over the death of a teenager shot by police at point-blank range, according to French authorities. There were fewer arrests compared to the previous night, 719, with worse clashes in the southern city of Marseille. In the Paris suburb, L'Île-aux-Roses, attackers rammed a car into the house of a mayor, injuring his wife. French cities have seen unrest since the police shooting of a teenager. 17-year-old Nahel M. was shot during a traffic stop on Tuesday. Larger crowds turned out for his funeral yesterday. Around 45,000 police were deployed across the country for a second night yesterday. More than 1,300 arrests were made on Friday night and more than 900 on Thursday. Officials hope that a turning point may have been reached as the rioters are losing energy with the security crackdown and the massive unpopularity of their exactions. In Marseille, heavy clashes took place between police and rioters throughout last evening. French media report that fighting took place between a large group of rioters and officers.
Russia launched an overnight drone attack on the Ukrainian capital after a 12-day break. Ukrainian authorities said the air defense system destroyed all targets on their approach. Accordingly, 8 drones and 3 cruise missiles deployed by Russia were shot down over Kyiv and the surrounding area. The Ukrainian capital and a number of central and eastern Ukrainian regions were under air raid alerts during this period. It came a day after Ukrainian officials reported more civilian casualties from Russian shelling in the country's east and south. Meanwhile, President Zelensky warned a serious threat remained in the Russian-occupied Zaporizhzhia Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant in Ukraine's south. He said that Russia was technically ready to provoke a localized explosion at the facility. Russian authorities, however, issued a statement debunking the warning made by the Ukrainian government.
Twitter is limiting how many tweets various accounts can read per day, owner Elon Musk has said. This is in bid to discourage extreme levels of data scraping and system manipulation. In a tweet, Elon Musk said that verified users will be limited to reading 10,000 tweets per day, while unverified accounts can only access 1,000 posts. Musk, who bought Twitter for $44 billion last year, initially said verified accounts will be limited to reading 6,000 posts a day, while unverified accounts will be limited to 600 posts a day. The restrictions could result in users being locked out of Twitter for the day after scrolling through several hundreds of tweets. The higher threshold allowed on verified accounts is a part of an $8 per month subscription service that Musk rolled out earlier this year in an effort to boost Twitter revenue. The revenue of the service fell sharply since Musk took over the company and laid off roughly 3/4 of the workforce to cut costs and stay off bankruptcy.
At least 25 people died after a bus crashed and caught fire in western India. A tire blew up, caused a bus to lose control and crash into a road divider before bursting into flames, killing at least 25 people in western India. Authorities said that 33 passengers were on the bus when it crashed at the Bulana district in Maharashtra state. 8 survivors were taken to hospital. Local police reported that the bus was travelling from Nagpur to Pune on Samruddhi Mahamarg Expressway when it crashed and its fuel tank caught fire.
Australia has become the first country in the world to legalize the use of psychedelics to treat some mental health conditions. The decision will see psilocybin found in magic mushrooms used for treatment-resistant depression. It will also allow MDMA, known as ecstasy, in a tablet form for post-traumatic stress disorder. The changes come into effect today, making Australia the first country to classify psychedelics as medicines at a national level. However, experts say the move has been too hasty and should not be overhyped.
Moving to China, a sizable rare wild orchid population was discovered in the Xiaotai Mountain National Nature Reserve in North China in a latest environmental survey. Among the new findings are 20 species of orchid plants, including endangered large-flowered Cyperidium under the top-class state protection and Cyperidium guttatum or spotted lady's slipper. The diameter of the bloom is 5 to 6 centimeters and the color of the flower body is reddish. It is regarded as the most beautiful orchid in the northern China and it has a high ornamental value. The plant only flourishes when it is have enough water, well-drained soil, a wide temperature variation between day and night, high air humidity and a good air circulation.
And on your sports news, Sri Lanka managed to qualify the ICC Cricket World Cup 2023 today after clinching a 9-wicket victory against Zimbabwe in the qualifiers.
The Super 6 stage match between Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe was held in Bulawayo. Batting first, Zimbabwe managed to gather 165 runs within 32 overs of their innings. Sean Williams scored 56 runs while Shikadar Razak scored 31 for Zimbabwe. Mahesh Deekshana picked up 4 wickets in the match, recording his best bowling figures in ODIs. Dilshan Madhushankar picked up 3 wickets and Matisha Patirana picked up 2 wickets for Sri Lanka.
Short and pulled up his leg and out. Good catch at long leg. That'll be 50 to Williams. He scores in this tournament. 102 not out. 91-23, 174. Bowled. Deekshana back into the attack.
Chasing a target of 166 runs, Sri Lanka managed to score 169 runs for the loss of 1 wicket in 33 overs. Pathum Nishankar scored his second century in ODIs during the match with 101 runs in 102 deliveries. Kusal Mendis was not out for 25 and Dimuth Karunaratne scored 30 runs. Man of the match was Mahesh Theekshana. With the win, Sri Lanka managed to qualify for the ICC Cricket World Cup 2023 as an undefeated team in the qualifying rounds. Sri Lanka is leading in the points table with 8 points. The final match for Sri Lanka is the Super 6 stage of the qualifiers will be held on the 7th August against West Indies.
A second ODI 100 for Pathum.
Now, this year's edition of the ICC Cricket World Cup will be held without the participation of West Indies for the first time in the cricketing history. West Indies were unable to qualify for the World Cup after they were beaten by Scotland in the ICC Cricket World Cup qualifier match yesterday.
The Super 6 stage match between West Indies and Scotland was played in Harare. Batting first, West Indies only managed to gather 181 runs in 43 overs. Scotland managed to chase down the target in 43rd over of their innings. With the defeat, the West Indies missed the opportunity to qualify for the year's ICC Cricket World Cup. West Indies previously managed to secure the ICC World Cup Championship twice in 1975 and 1979. They were also the runners-up in 1983. Accordingly, this year's edition of the Cricket World Cup will be held without the participation of the West Indies for the first time in the cricketing history.
Classical stroke play across the experienced partner at the other end.
Now, Royal College Colombo, Zaira College Colombo, St Thomas's College Mount Lavania and St Peter's College Bamlapitia secured wins in the matches played under the All-Ceylon Inter-School Rugby League Championship yesterday. The tournament is organised by the Sri Lanka School Rugby Association.
The match between Royal College Colombo and Vidyartha College Kandy was held at the Royal College grounds. Royal College managed to win the match with an outstanding lead of 47 points to 3. The match between Dharparaja College Kandy and St Peter's College Bambalapitiya was played at the Bogambra grounds in Kandy. St Peter's College won the match by 32 points to 7. St Thomas's College Mount Lavania faced Kingswood College Kandy at St Thomas's ground. St Thomas's won the match 28 points to 17 in a closely contested match. The match between Zaira College Colombo and Science College Mount Lavania was held at the Zaira grounds. Accordingly, Zaira College won the match by 24 points to 8.
That's it. That's a look at Rupavahini News for tonight. Together with Charita, I'm Sharon, wishing you a very super happy Sunday.